And it's a good observation here. As you could see in the mannequin, you could see a space between the two teeth. So when I go down, right away, once I could see from the top in between, I could stop. But in natural teeth, the gum usually is triangular and it's going to go all the way to the contact point. So I'm going gentle and slow, making sure I'm within the frames of the tooth. And now as I do that, it's very important as you're going down, not to just go down forward, but to get the two surfaces to link. We're linking the side with the front. We gotta link the two together. So here, as I'm going down, I'm gonna slightly go down, slightly link the two together. And when I feel I'm really good, I could then slowly shift and get rid of this little ledge that was there, and you just saw it flicked away. So now, look at our crown. It's taking nice and beautiful form. Obviously, we're going to be putting on some finishing lines. So now I'm going to start connecting the two surfaces. Now look, here I could go straight or tilt in a little bit. So I'm tilting slightly, very little. Here I'm going to tilt back. Here I got to tilt towards the tooth. So when you're moving, you got to make sure you're moving, you're twisting your arms. So here we're going to now attempt to re-link the whole surfaces together. So I'm tilting, I'm making sure I'm aware of which plane I'm part of. And voila, the outside and the middles are almost done. As you could see, they're linked together. Now we're going to move over to this side, and we constantly can ask the patient to rotate. Now we're not prepping this way because the patient's jaw is there. I'm trying to maintain it the same way it would be done in the mouth. We could turn the patients around, bring them, lower their jaw, bring them up, turn them to the side, and that's exactly what I'm trying to keep for you in this demonstration. So now looking forward like this, what I would do is maybe come behind the patient and have the patient open and take my drill sequence and go like this, but still we're always only working in the front area. So now from this angle, so you guys get to see, we're going to start creating the tongue side. That's how I would do it. I'd slowly link the two spots together. Now once you get majority of this linked, now it's time to start putting finishing touches. We have a sharp edge in the top. So our sharp edge, we now want to make sure that we have two planes. A good way to check if we reduced enough is one, to put the burr in. Yes, we did. Two, you see the outline of this tooth? It's with this preparation or reshaping of the tooth is within this tooth frame. That's how you know that you removed enough. So because the lab is going to build the crown up to this level. And the front area has to be within here. Now also, if we look for the top, same thing applies to the tongue portion. If this preparation is within the frame of this tooth, we're good. In our case, as you could see, this top piece is sticking out, right? Let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, this top piece, this corner, what we're going to do is I could put it right here, and I want to create a slight, instead of outwards undercut, we're going to create a slight redirection, so it's a cup form. And they're calling us, they're booking it, they want to book an appointment for a crown preparation probably. So now, sharp edges. We know this is how we did the outside. So here what we're going to do, we're going to simply go to 45 degrees, and without pressing too much, we're going to get rid of all of our sharp corners. Our crown does not want to sit on sharp corners. Here's the same thing here. We're going to go touch it, and instead of being like this, we're going to be at 45 degrees to the sharp corner. And look at that, we're already getting to our crown prep. Wow, very nice, right? So now I would like to maybe, you can see we have a flare at this point right here. There's a flare. So now I'm going to try to remove that little area, lower it a little bit. And here's another secret. Once you get to this point, say, let's go lower it a little bit more. At this point, very important to have hand-eye coordination. Okay, so we did that, and we're going to do the same thing here. Lower the margin. This we could do anything we want at this point. Refine, repolish. We're going super slow at this level. I did not turn off the water. The water's still running, but I'm just working at a slower speed. Okay? And I'm leaving this taller, and I'm going to show you that I could easily bring this margin down a little bit by simply just pressing a little bit more. There we go. Now, someone else is calling to book an appointment. Wow. The phones keep ringing. Thank God. Okay. Next. At this point, we're now going to go and check the opposing bite. When they bite down, we need to have a clearance. We need to make sure that you could see right through it. In our case, we have a clearance, but it seems that possibly right at this tiny corner, we might have an area where maybe this will interfere. I don't think so, but let's just, for say you feel like it's like this, it's very little. What do? We could open up and fix it. Or at this point, what we're going to do is, and you're gonna learn different burrs in our training course. But what we could do is take a burr that's super thin, right? Super thin. We could have the patient bite down. And if there's a room and you have enough clearance, what you could do is, without touching the top tooth, you're just laying on the bottom tooth. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to roll it in to mimic the form of the top tooth, because that's where the way teeth work. If you notice, they work in synchrony. This tooth right over here has a groove that goes up and then down. Between the two teeth that it sits, the groove goes up and then down. So when we're creating the same form, we could actually bring, since this one's going up, we could bring this one down a little bit more and create that groove, right? So once we create that groove, you could see that there is now clearance, yes? Right? So now the lab will know that this is where they build up the groove. The next thing is with this burr, say we still have a ledge here, right on this side. What we do is we go gently at an angle and we just go get rid of that ledge. And we get rid of this ledge. And now what we have is no ledge. Okay? Now you can also look at this tooth and take your burr, instead of going up, you could go sideways. Say, you know what? I want to bring this curve in a little bit. Okay, and the final thing what we're going to do is we're going to use a slow speed. A slow speed. In a second, we're trying to make sure we could get us a slow speed. If we don't have one, we'll get one right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you that you could actually take special polishing burrs, and you could just polish this whole thing up and at a slow speed without touching anything else. You could even get some polishing cups that are very small. So for this case, what we're going to do is let's start with a tinier one, and you could use discs and you could use other things. It doesn't matter what you use, just as long as you give a little shine to your preparation. So take a quick look. What I'm doing is I'm going back and forth. I'm giving it a little shine. Not necessary, because the rougher it is, the better the retention is. But it doesn't hurt to give it a little shine so the impression goes better. And I know I said never turn like this. I'm just showing you. I would have a patient stand like this, and I would just curve around. And then when I'm going to blow water, look at that. It's getting much better. Now we're not going to spend too much time on this because we want to demonstrate on how to take an impression. In this case, we're going to show you how to take a triple tray impression. So once again, bird's eye view, you could see 360 like a cup. Let's zoom in into this. You could see 360 on the tooth, right? Right over here. So that's how you know you did a good job. We did a good job. It looks similar to this. Now, if this was a bridge, this tooth would be missing and two teeth would be prepared, and this tooth would be false. And we'll demonstrate that a little bit later, but here's clearance, here's the preparation. That was pretty simple. Stay tuned in the second video on the impression technique.